I've been reading up on the 8 bedevilments of the afflicted. Yes, these greatly affect people in addiction and recovery. Not that I'm beyond recovery, but it's been many years now. And number one stands out greatly, and it's probably one I still struggle with these days. And that is always trouble in personal relationships. I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about my personal relationships with my family and loved ones. Most of this is self-inflicted, but I think a lot of it is these days it's fight or flight, survival mode, things that have accumulated from past traumas and the way I was brought up. You know, when it comes to going into defensive mode to protect yourself, that's something I struggle with these days and struggle with in life. I think I'm getting a little better at it, but there's times when I catch myself going into the defensive stance and insecure and crossing my arms and protecting my chest. And it's not even when I'm being criticized, whether it's a question about something that I take personal, or if something with no malicious value at all. I go instantly into defensive mode and would respond with something smart aleck or something smart ass, or with just ultra defensive bitterness. I think that a lot of this has to do with my upbringing, as I'm starting to learn things about my life and grow as a person and actually learn a little bit more about why I'm doing what I do and why I did what I did. I know a lot of this ties back to childhood stuff, you know, what happened in the household while I was growing up. I'm not blaming my parents. I forgive them for the things that they did not know they did. I love my family. There's a lot of those things that were generational. You know, it was probably the same thing that happened in their household, and the same thing that happened in their parents' household, and so on and so forth. So I don't blame them. But fortunately, the people I love are forced to deal with my own bullshit that I have. So getting back into more of the upbringing is the constant need to avoid confrontation, the constant need to please, the constant need to defend myself even if I wasn't doing anything wrong. So if it was dealing with, I don't even know what to say to that point, excuse me. Let's say getting yelled at for literally something that has nothing to do with you. Just constantly on edge, constantly scared that you're going to get yelled at or in trouble for something all the time. I thought this was normal. This is how my life has been. This is how I've reacted to everything my entire life. Every relationship I've had, every partnership I've had, every job I've had to date. And I didn't know it was not normal. It wasn't until I was with a normal person or somebody that had normalities in their life, and they showed me what a good relationship was and what trust was and what unconditional love was, and actually pointed these things out and helped teach me and guide me for me to better understand that this wasn't normal, is when I realized it wasn't normal. and I thank her for that. But I still struggle with it. Not so much at work. I own my shit. But at home, I catch myself doing it. Or in home life, I catch myself doing it. How I've been able to work past it in my professional life is to listen and wait to respond and listen to facts and have a better understanding of what the person is saying. In public hearing settings, it's the same thing. They're not mad at me. I didn't do anything wrong. They're mad at the situation or whatever the circumstance or whatever the criteria is at hand. So listening for facts, being able to see through the emotion, acknowledge the emotion, stay calm, and respond accordingly is a practice I have to do. Now, if I could just master it at home, it might be a little less drama, should I say. But something I am blessed with is that my child doesn't do this. It's a trait she hasn't picked up from me. She's picked up some orneriness that was definitely mine. She's picked up some checking out that she definitely got from me. She's picked up some different things of that nature. But that defensive stance is very light on her end. It goes pretty deep. You know, when it was in addiction, the troubles with my personal relationships had to do with lies, deceitfulness, spending money I shouldn't have spent, doing whatever I could to get the substance, the alcohol, or whatever I needed to get my hands on. That always caused a rift, and it should. Your partner can't trust you, your family can't trust you. Somebody that tries to pride themselves on moral integrity has no leg to stand on when they're conducting themselves in that manner. It took a long time to regain that trust, and it took a long time for me to trust myself. But thinking about the 8 Bedevilments, that one is number 1 on the list, and it hits hard when you start thinking deeper on it. So I challenge you to think into those kinds of things. Most people don't have those problems. So most people don't have those bedevilments. But even though you think you don't, you'd be surprised if you looked into them of how much of those bedevilments are affecting your life, affecting your personal growth, affecting your professional growth, affecting your relationships, affecting success, anything and everything you could possibly think of. So I'm challenging you, the viewer, or whomever's watching this, to look into those. I posted a picture of them on my posts on the channel, or you can search them up. It's the 8 Bedevilments of the afflicted. Look through those and assess them. See if there's issues there that you should work on. You know, most people have got too much ego to think that they actually do. But ask your partner, ask your child, ask a friend, ask any of them. Do you think that I have any issues with this? Because that outside perspective brings a lot of things to light that you never even knew existed. Because we are ego-driven sociopaths. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. Everybody has a different perspective of us. Nobody looks at us in the same way. We're somebody different to everyone. More to share on bedevilments soon. All right. Cheers.